Andrew Maine, Black-White Vampires. His teammates playing James Baker and Mitchell Sachs are playing Miracles and Storm. The other team is Edward Drew, Chuck Peirce, and Travis Lauro. Look at these decks. Mono Red Prison, Ad Nauseum, and Mono White Approach. What is going on?
This is they don't.
These
seem
aren't
to,
none of these. What's a metagame?
They don't seem to care what their opponents are doing.
From Travis, turn 1, Authority of the Councils. Yeah, that makes sense.
Using the Sheffus Dunes.
3-mana Manolith with City's Blessing, you draw a card and gain 3. So, Andrew Travis will pass back. So what's going on with the Mono White Approach deck? Well, it's like regular Approach, except you don't get to play Glimmer of Genius or Hieroglyphic Illumination or Search for Azcanta. Instead, you play 4 Orazca Relics to ramp to get that Approach out faster.
4 Treasure Map, which
4 Treasure
help
Map.
with that, and you do see Treasure Map coming down here.
2 Thaumaturgic Compass. And then a lot of removal.
Yes, Baffling Ends, Fumigates. First play for Andrew Maine is a Radiant Destiny.
Yeah, that's really strange here. That's such a slow start.
Right. Hand must be pretty glutted with 4s, so if we start making a bunch of Vampire tokens, if we're loaded up on Call to the Feasts.
Yeah, we see so Travis going to go ahead and start going to work with that Orazca Relic. And he also has an Arch of Orazca. That's the...
Here's another thematic deck, the Orazca deck.
2 Arch of Orazcas. I suppose Colorless Land is pretty free.
Yeah.
We do see Call to the Feast from Andrew Maine making 3 lifelink tokens. Also, they all are pumped from Radiant Destiny. They do enter the battlefield tapped, though, from Authority of the Councils.
I think that the Game 1 matchup does figure to be pretty bad for Maine. You're not doing anything to disrupt the Approach win. Fumigate's very good against your deck. Settle's very good against your deck.
We're going to see for the activation here on Treasure Map, Scry to the bottom 3, that will transform it. So you know how like Search for Azcanta ramps you and transform it? This does too, if you're not playing blue cards.
Well, this one ramps you in a big way. Both turns into a land and you get all these treasure tokens.
Oh, wow. Right, we just can cast our Approach next turn.
Yeah.
You see the hand here from Travis, he's got 2 Fumigates.
The downside is that generally you want to actually naturally draw 2 approaches, because you're going through all 7 cards usually. The Treasure Map helps you a little bit. The Treasure Cove gives you redraws with the treasure tokens.
So Travis casts Ixalan's Binding on the Radiant Destiny. So takes away the Anthem, the creatures shrink back down to 1/1s, and if Andrew has more Radiant Destinies, he can't cast them.
Yeah, that does a good job of stemming the bleeding.
Yeah,
and Travis
3.
with a lot of life to play with.
Yeah. 2 Fumigates. He's got time. If he has the Approach, this could work. Here's another Call to the Feast. Now we're up to 6 Vampires for Andrew. That should get a Fumigate.
Yeah, that's certainly worth one.
And remember, also, looking at Travis, you need to make sure that he confirmed. Oh, right now he has 9 permanents in play right now, so he'll hit City's Blessing here for that Arch of Orazca. And Fumigate. Goes up to 28. This matchup, Ryan, seems like a nightmare for Andrew.
Yes.
His deck's just all sweepers.
And he's just a black-white aggressive deck.
Yeah, he has to keep committing. Here's another Call to the Feast, right? He just has to keep making creatures, and then Travis will kill them.
Right. Post-sideboard, there are duresses. Those help. They're a lot worse than negate in these spots, though.
Treasure Cove draws a card. Travis up to 31. Draws another Fumigate.
Yeah. Travis is going to have a lot of time to find Approach.
Oh, and remember, he has this Arch of Orazca active, too. He can just draw a card, draw extra cards, Fumigate, draw extra cards.
Yeah, he's at 31. He could take some time off.
So what are we doing? We got 6 mana. The Immortal Sun.
Standard
More
All-Star.
cards, more cards. More cards. Here's the City's Blessing.
I'm looking at the deck list. Who's Travis's commander? It's this Elish Norn.
I'm gonna draw 2 a turn, and then it also ramps you. It ramps you into your 7.
Yeah, costs 1 less.
You can approach on 6 now. This Andrew is just so uphill for him.
Yes.
You're like, man, you come back to like, how'd you hurt your match? You're like, well, you're not gonna believe what I lost to, man. This sucked. All right. Another creature into play for Andrew. Andrew's battlefield tapped, of course, because of the main deck Authority. The Champion of Dusk.
Draws a lot of cards.
Yeah.
Can't be mad about that.
Oh, Travis just picks up an approach.
Well, can't be happy about that.
I don't even think he's going to get around to using that Arch of Orazka.
Rats.
Treasure Cove will draw him another card. Two more mana. What do we have here? An Orazka Relic. Is that it? I think so. A Fumigate. Remember, these are all, he did that less because these all cost less because of the Immortal Sun.
Yes. Storm's at 2, and we're back to Andrew.
And Travis gained 4 more there. He's back above 30. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Orazka Relic, because you don't play limited, but even if you do play limited, you might not have cast this card. It's not very good. Taps to make a mana. Now that he has a City's Blessing, he can sacrifice it to gain 3 and draw a card.
I like that art a lot. That is sweet.
Here's Queen's Commission from Andrew. Travis gains so much life.
Yeah.
This is so good.
He's got authorities, fumigates. Pretty soon he's going to approach to gain 7.
Orazka Relics.
Yeah.
Not even joking.
Right. That's probably going to happen. It's 1 card closer to redrawing the approach.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he had approach last turn, just didn't even need to cast it. It was a fine spot for fumigate.
Yeah, he probably could have cast approach if he wanted.
Yeah, either line just seems like it wins the game.
Got that City's Blessing there, yeah. That's working. Immortal Sun gives him another one. Draws Settle the Wreckage. So now he has 2 Fumigates in the yard, another Fumigate in hand to Settle the Wreckage in hand. He's also at 35 and about to go to 42 to cast approach.
Yep. Close game.
Can Andrew, in this matchup, even get him below 20? Like,
I'd be kind of impressed if he did that.
Just
if he even did
this
that. Travis has
so
a
good.
Settle the Wreckage, another Fumigate.
Oh, yeah. I mean, main deck, he's got just 1 Settle, 4 Fumigate, 4 Baffling End, 4 Cast Out, 4 Ixalan's Binding.
Couple Thopter
3 Thopter
Arrests.
Arrests in case that's not enough. This deck's nice.
Chef at Dunes, an enabler for his Darien King of Kieljor. This is a commander deck, if you'll recall.
Oh, that would be an okay commander for this.
Yeah.
Maybe like Patron of the Kitsune. Just like, every time anyone attacks, I gain a life.
There you go. Look at how good this card is with Chef at Dunes.
That card's nice.
Yeah.
Bring up Patron of the Kitsune. That would be really nice here. Every time he takes damage, just keep making 1/1s. Here's the one I want. Hold on. I can make another treasure map. Let's get more treasures for Treasure Cove. And more treasures for Treasure Cove. Yeah, this one.
Matthias, he doesn't have any foxes to offer.
That's fine. That's fine. You just sit around with this and you let other people attack. And you make it really unappealing to attack you, and then you just sit there and gain life.
Why don't they print more cards with fox offering?
I know. It would really help this deck.
That was a pretty popular mechanic.
It's about up there with Epic. Game 1 goes to Travis Lauro. Andrew got him below 40, but couldn't close.
He was a long way from closing.
Oh my goodness.
We'll see if things become less of a total disaster post-sideboard.
All right, we'll be back in just a minute. looking at sideboards here. Ryan, we actually have our metagame breakdown over on the Star City Games coverage page if you're watching us over at starcitygames.com. This is the only mono-white approach deck in day 2.
You would expect to see more of this.
It is also the only vampires deck. What a match. And we got them both at the same time.
It's like we won the lottery.
8 copies of Grixis Energy, 6 copies of blue-black control. That's 14 between the two. Only 26 decks. It's a narrow meta, only 26 teams in day 2. But really, those are the 2 decks of standard right now. And then we have a lot of decks with 1 copy. Look at the sideboards. Okay. Andrew Maine. All right. So a bunch of stuff happened that was pretty messed up, and then you lost. What are you looking for on the sideboard?
Duress.
Yeah. Yep.
So we have 3 Duress, 2 Arguel's Bloodfast.
Like
that stuff's all pretty good. Probably want the 2 Doomfalls as well.
3 mana Duress is still a Duress?
It's still a Duress. The deck's pretty slow to get on the battlefield anyway.
Hey, Fragmentize hits Ixalan's Binding and Cast Out. Do you care?
Your decks, you're mostly just making tokens. I don't know if you care about that effect, so you might not have to reach for that.
Profane Procession doesn't do anything because Travis doesn't play creatures.
Don't mind Andrew's copy of the Immortal Sun.
Yeah. What happens when there's 2 Immortal Suns? How does that work? That gets too hot.
I think being next to 1 sun is enough too much heat.
So Travis's deck has some 4-ofs, because when you have a deck that's as linear as this happens in the sideboard. 4 Regal Caracals, 4 Adanto Vanguards, 4 Walking Ballistas. I might even like Walking Ballista here. 2 Authority of the Councils, and then a Maverin Fane.
I would make no secret about the fact that I'm just presenting my 60 again.
So you let him know because to send a message.
Like, I don't see how I'm ever going to lose.
What's up with the 1 Maverin Fane?
It pairs with the Danto Vanguard.
Okay,
in the matchups where you got to
it's like that
down.
matchup we need +5 cards, and there's like, we can't play 5 Van cards, so you play 1 Maverin.
You don't need a 4th Authority in the 75. You've kind of run out of playable spells. I mean, you have main deck Arazka Relic, you know.
There's this thing where you're only playing 1 of the 5 colors.
Yeah. And you're
and
not
it's
aggressive.
not the good one.
You're generally not aggressive. Yeah. You're playing the bad color.
Your options are limited. If what you want to do is remove creatures, you picked the right color.
I have been impressed by the card Ixalan's Binding.
Yeah, that actually is quite good.
Lines up really well against Scarab God, the best card in Standard.
Oh, and trade some lands to start here. Does Travis have the turn 1 authority? Not this game.
It's just not even that good in the matchup.
No. He does have Walking Ballista. Looks like he's brought that in. Andrew, turn 2, going to play Arguel's Bloodfast. All right, so now he's like, all right, we want to just do nothing and draw cards? I'm in.
Yeah.
Here's my card that does that.
Try my hand.
Walking Ballista on 1 for Travis. I mean, Andrew's free to pay basically as much life as he wants to this card.
Yes. Yeah, Travis not really going to be dealing damage.
Don't be fooled by the Walking Ballista in play.
Yeah.
2 mana Legion Lieutenant. The 2/2 for 2 pumps all vampires. And let's give it a vampire. Here's Legion's Landing.
Legion's Landing, I think, quietly one of the more powerful cards in Standard.
Yeah. At 1 mana, it's very efficient. The danger here, of course, against Travis's deck is the moment you start playing 2 creatures, then he's going to start removing them all. Here is a Arazka Relic from Travis.
Yeah, Andrew wants to get in a position where he can transform to Legion's Landing. It makes you a little bit better against things like Settle and Fumigate. A little easier to reset.
Especially because, remember, Landing makes vampires, and Andrew's deck cares.
Yeah, when they're 2/2s, that's great.
Draws off Arguel's Bloodfast.
Also, the Vampire tokens having lifelink is really good with its Arguel's Bloodfast.
So, Duress. 3 Field of Ruins, a Scavenger Ground, and a Walking Ballista.
I see.
Miss.
I think that Andrew's fine that he missed with Duress. This hand is horrible.
Look, I'm not worried about Legion's Landing anymore. I'm going to Field of Ruin it. A lot. Over on the Legacy table, Miracles, powered by James Baker, takes game 1 over Mono Red Prison. Swinging puts Travis down to 16.
Basic Islands and Plains figure to be pretty good against Blood Moon.
Baffling End, picked up from Travis. Though he could always just put a counter on Walking Ballista if he cares to. He'll attack for 1.
Or just cast
Now
second Ballista on 2.
Sure.
You're so close to doing it for 3 that I like this baffling end.
Definitely on there. Leaves up Field of Ruin mana. And he'll just pass. Back over to Andrew.
Travis just on the beatdowns.
Yeah, it's got Andrew to 19. The fact that all these vampires have lifelink means I'm not super into the beatdowns here. I don't know if Travis ever wins that way. Maybe on the 4 Regal Caracal plan.
He has so many walking ballistas.
It was the full playset, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's already drawn 2.
But Andrew, that Bloodfast, the key card here. Goes down to 17, draws Concealed Courtyard. He swings for 1. He's having trouble actually making damage happen right now. There's a lot of removal. If he flips Legion's Landing, it's going to get Field of Ruined. And you see, yeah, Travis holding it for those transform cards too. Did not end step use Field of Ruin. And he'll swing for 1.
Andrew, with a cast out in the holding, several lands. Doesn't really have an aggressive draw.
Here's that Ballista for 1 you mentioned, and he says go. Let's keep an eye out, Ryan. Right now, Travis has 9 permanents. When he gets 1 more, he can sacrifice that Orozco Relic.
Gain 3 life.
And draw a card.
Draw a card.
Andrew continues to use the Bloodfast. He's pretty heavy on lands right now. Most of those extra draws have hit lands for him.
And with this second Ballista coming down on 3, Travis is, you get to check a lot of vampire tokens with that.
I think what has to happen, Andrew needs to find something like Radiant Destiny, something that stops the Ballista from just mowing through his cards.
Right.
Right now, he will fragmentize the Walking Ballista.
That's a fine one.
That's fine. Well, in response, Travis removes the token and deals 2 to Andrew. See, there's a cast out in Andrew's hand. It's possible he just tries to get both Ballistas, but he's not getting any damage in.
And if you do something like cast out on the Ballista and then Travis just hits you with the Immortal Sun, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I almost wonder whether Andrew will just Bloodfast 2 more times. It puts him low on life, but he needs cards. He needs things that matter. He's going to cast out the last Ballista before Travis untaps. Travis shoots for 1. Cast out. No target.
And with things where they are, it'd be a great window for Travis to find an approach.
He also put Travis back down to 7 permanents, so we're a bit of a ways off. And now he just says go. No Arch of Orozco yet. See, what the Travis is big draw cards, his Howling Mine effects. Arch of Orozco, the Immortal Sun, Treasure Map.
And obviously pretty happy to pick up an Approach of the Second Sons as well. But right now the hand's just a little counterplay, some more lands.
Call to the Feast for Andrew Maine. Now that the Ballistas are cleared away, 3/1/1 seems just fine. Maybe it'll even transform Legion Landing. And despite the Field of Ruins around, there's no reason to not transform Legion's Landing, right?
Yeah, as long as you have the mana to activate it right away. Get that in, get Field of Ruin. At least you get a vampire token for your trouble. The thing about Legion's Landing is that it's legendary, so if you draw another copy, you'll just want to be able to cast it as the enchantment and then maybe set up, get another vampire, so with that one through a Field of Ruin.
Players just confirming life totals. Some of those lands do cause damage when they are tapped. 15 and 9 has been agreed upon. Cast out from Travis. It's going to hit Legion's Landing.
That's a surprising
I
take.
thought it was going to be the Bloodfast, even though there's damage done. There's so many Field of Ruins. Travis does now have the City's Blessing. And maybe that's the reason he used the cast out, is he wants to get to City's Blessing faster. You see right now, Orozco Relic now can be sacrificed. Travis up to 18 and will draw a card.
I mean, the way that the life total stood, you know, the Bloodfast only has so many activations, but Maine set up with lifelink creatures.
Yeah, and see, Travis draws Fumigate off that Relic, and you feel like he's got to use it I mean, I understand. So the reason you take that is that you don't want it to transform when Andrew attacks with 3, but if you weren't playing to Fumigate, all these life points that Andrew has are going to just draw him cards. You can't.
Yeah, well, you already have the field, so the Adanto first fort is just pretty well covered.
Andrew's teammates, Mitchell Sachs, takes a win, Storm defeating Ad Nauseam in Game 1. Andrew's going to go back to work with that Bloodfast. Here's more cards, down to 7. Radiant Destiny, naming vampires. Vampires have 1/1 and Vigilance. Legion Lieutenant, let's try to attack for 9.
Those are large.
Gain 9, that matters. You see, he's a lot.
It's a lot of Bloodfast cards.
Yeah, he's going to get fumigated, and then next turn he's going to draw, well, 4, maybe 5.
Until he hits something he wants to cast.
Yeah.
Or just more cards.
Fumigate will take care of the 4 creatures. Travis back up to 13. Does have the mana to leave up. What's going on here? Okay.
The first tap only had 2 white because of Sheffet Dunes, so we had to tap in other planes.
Leaves up the Scavenger Ground. Back to Andrew, but he's at 16 now. Lots of cards on the way. 2 lands in hand. Well, he'll draw 14. Another land. Let's keep going. One more. You see, he's making sure he uses those deserts for colorless. Still another land for Andrew Maine.
Getting really flooded here, and with these lifelink tokens just dying so often, you got to get set up again.
Well, here's Queen's Commission. Those are 2 more lifelink tokens. It doesn't seem like it's that hard, Ryan, for him to just keep reloading the Bloodfast forever.
And Travis still currently just drawing 1 card a turn.
Right.
It's tough to answer this much stuff.
Travis really would like to have an Arch of Orazka. You see, he has Baffling End. I mean, he could hit one of the 2 tokens.
Yeah.
It might even be right.
Baffling End pretty weak in the matchup.
Yeah, I mean, the first one hit a Legion Lieutenant, and that really felt like it mattered.
Yep, that one was fine, though most of Andrew's cards are just 2-for-1s.
Travis, I think wisely here, is going to Field of Ruin away the Sheffet Dunes.
Extra damage, extra life.
Yeah.
Get that off the table.
Yeah, I mean, that's already 4 points of damage. Now that'll be 2 more. This adds up quickly. The part I still worry about is that the fact that all these life points convert into cards.
Yes. That Bloodfast really powerful in this deck.
Yeah. And it'll keep going to work, down to 10. Another card. There we go. That's a creature. It's a great one. Dusk Legion Zealot.
Big fan of this card.
Yeah, it's just Elvish Visionary.
But it's in a good color.
Legacy. We just reported that James Baker won Game 1, and now the Game 2 is over like 3 minutes later, which means Edward Drew won. Mono Red Prison evens it up. See a game that lasts 3 minutes.
Probably wasn't won by miracles.
That's always a good one for Mono Red Prison. Dusk Legion Zealot draws. Fragmentize here for Andrew Maine. He'll hit the cast out to get back his Legion's Landing.
A lot of lands in the deck for an aggressive deck, obviously. It's a lot of tokens, a lot of things that cost 4 mana, but it looks like mid-20s.
A swing for 4 from Andrew Maine puts Travis down to 9 and Andrew up to 13. They switch the life totals. Can't transform Legion's Landing just yet. The attack was only 2 creatures, but next turn will be online. And of course, 3 more Bloodfast activations in waiting.
Yeah.
It's just unreal. Back down to 11. This has drawn at least 8 cards this game.
Right.
Ooh. Legion's Lieutenant. Next turn. He has lethal next turn. There's no way. Settle the Wreckage is what you'd be looking for from Travis.
Right. That's certainly on Andrew's radar.
So maybe not swing the whole team.
Can draw some extra cards and hope to find another Duress. Only been through 1 copy of that, or the Doom Falls.
Travis, 4 mana. Casts Ixalan's Binding. Don't point out that Travis is just tapping himself off field every turn for no reason. takes care of the Ixalan's binding, or with the Ixalan's binding of the Radiant Destiny.
Yep. Slows down the damage some.
Last card in hand is Baffling End by Travis. This actually green lights Andrew about Settle the Wreckage, though.
Right. Those attack is no longer lethal. 2 anthems would do it.
Yeah, he's got one in hand. He's got some draws to work with.
Oh.
Radiant Destiny. Nope, can't cast it. It's bound.
Yeah, that has been bound by Ixalan.
I was going to say it's lethal, but not. It's almost. I mean, Andrew still has 7 cards in hand.
Yeah.
Things are looking good.
I like it when these draft decks are playable and constructed. Just like these really mopey tribal themed things.
Oh, I didn't know which one you were talking about.
I don't think you can draft Travis's deck.
Yeah, this just does feel a lot like that on the Black-White Vampire side. I started thinking this, and I said, when's he going to draw his Legion Conquistador? Legion's Lieutenant. That will pump the team. Maybe on Andrew's side, he can take some shots at the Arguel's Bloodfast to see if he can draw another Anthem, just like a Chef at Dunes would do it. For 5 mana, we will, however, see Champion of Dusk.
That's a lot of looks.
Oh, yes, that's a lot of cards he just drew, including another Legion Lieutenant. And Travis is empty-handed. Well, that appears to be lethal. Here's it is. 2 pumps, 9 damage. Let's go to game number 3.
How many extra cards did Andrew draw that game? Like 13, 20?
Just after, are we counting those ones at the end?
Yeah. 100?
Over 15.
Gotta like any game where you draw that many extra cards.
Okay. Well, we'll see if Andrew can run that script back for game 3. We'll be back with that very shortly. Game 3 on the way. So, Ryan, what is our big difference between game 1 was a one-sided affair for Travis. Game 2, I felt like Travis had nothing going on. What's the difference?
A couple things were at play. The Arguel's Bloodfast, that was huge for Maine.
Yeah.
And also, Maine produced an early duress when we saw Travis's hand extremely heavy on lands.
Yeah.
Travis didn't do very much. In game 1, there was a lot of fumigating happening. Travis did a good job of covering Maine's turns. That just was not the story, and Maine drew a ton of extra cards in game 2.
When Travis's deck doesn't produce Arch of Orazca, the Immortal Sun, or Treasure Map, I'm not sure what it's doing.
Right. It's trying to get to 7 mana and then wait 7 turns
right
to cast its approach again.
Does he have a way to counterplay Arguel's Bloodfast? That card just single-handedly beat him.
Cast out Ixalan's Binding. This stuff answers enchantments.
The other thing I think feels that he also has to identify that that's the card that beat him. Remember there was that turn with a cast out, and Travis cast out something other than the Bloodfast.
Yeah.
I would like to think in game, I mean, this is obviously nobody's played this matchup too much. I would hope in game 3, Travis revisits that decision.
Yes, most definitely. That Bloodfast was worth a lot of value.
Yeah, anyway, it was the game. Maybe Andrew wins without it, but maybe not.
Yeah, and again, Travis's draw wasn't doing much of anything,
Right.
so you're not asking a lot of Maine's deck.
Yeah, how many Arguel's Bloodfasts are we looking at post-sideboard?
2 copies.
Okay.
Makes sense. Extra copies of Bloodfast don't really do anything ever.
Right. If you wanted a 3rd card of that effect, it's likely that you would not play a 3rd Bloodfast. You'd play a Profane Procession or a Treasure Map or a something else.
You know? The 2 main deck Champion of Dusk as well, which do a similar effect.
Yeah, because the 2nd copies don't play well. Let's go down to the match. Both players keep it on 7. Game 3. Plains for Travis. Swamp got Duress from Andrew. Looks like he's in a Doomfall on turn 3 as well. And Travis' deck, here's the hand. Lands 2 and 3. Ixalan's Binding, Baffling End to Settle the Wreckage, Fumigate. So I get it. Creatures are going to be removed. That's the whole hand. It's just removal.
Yeah. I assume we go for Fumigate over Settle, and I think that that's the order.
Now that we know about Settle, we can make it weak.
Exactly. Shove with some tokens. Don't worry about it. Unless there's some reason in Maine's hand to be especially concerned about Ixalan's Binding.
Well, what if there's nothing good to baffling end in Andrew's hand. You can just. So
I think that baffling end is just bad in the matchup. So you're
Okay,
going
so
to
always gonna leave that.
That's the worst card in the hand by a very wide margin.
Yeah, I guess if you have a Bloodfast in hand, I'd take the binding, right?
Possibly, yeah.
Just be like, yeah, this card wins all the time. I'll just take it.
Yeah, I assume it's just between Fumigate and Binding.
Fumigate's taken. On turn 3, Andrew will get to revisit it if he chooses. Does have that Doomfall. Approach of the Second Sun, the draw for Travis. We're a ways away from that.
Can't duress that 7-mana spell.
2 mana. Andrew could play See, and this is because he knows about Baffling End. He's going to make Dusk Legion Zealot. He drew Legion's Lieutenant. No need.
Would you like to Baffling in this Elvish Visionary?
Another Shepherd from Travis and a pass. Picked up land 4 that turn, I believe. Maybe not. Maybe he doesn't have the land. Andrew on 3 mana. You might see a Doomfall. And we will. Let's look at Travis' hand again. Baffling End. Approach. Ixalan's Binding. Settle the Wreckage and Scavenger Grounds. Can't take the land. Anything else is fair game.
Andrew's closing speed is pretty slow.
Yeah.
So you actually have to look at Approach.
Maybe you just take Approach.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Now it's between Approach and Binding. That much is clear.
I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, the fact that Travis's deck is all removal and then this Glacial Windcon isn't a free strategy for Andrew to beat. He's going to take Ixalan's Binding. That's exiled. And then he'll hit for 1.
I think Andrew might be long on Radiant Destinies. And you do want to convert that one because it makes it so you can demand a sweeper just with every individual token maker.
Ooh, Ryan, this is a pretty big draw for Travis Lauro.
A Thematic Compass?
Yeah, Thematic Compass. This is the Journeyer's Kite Mazavith card. Now to make everybody feel old.
I actually like this card better if it's a non-mandatory transform, but you do have to transform it.
Well, but conveniently in this deck, it transforms at 7 lands.
Sure.
Oh, that's a good number for an Approach deck.
Right.
This is great for Travis. He doesn't have any more land drops in hand. Andrew just Radiant Destinied on Vampires and attacked for 2. His turn was terrible. I don't know that he's going to beat this Compass.
Yeah, and because Andrew went for the Binding, that Approach is still in Travis's hand.
So what Travis does, he doesn't have a land. Just every turn is going to be tap Compass, find land, play land.
Yep.
Next turn, do it again. Do it again. And can Travis beat that? Can Andrew beat that? I'm not sure.
He's going to need another discard effect or to dramatically increase his clock, though he's playing into a settle with that.
Yeah, well, you see, because last turn, his best clock increase was just to Radiant and Testing as +1. And yeah, Travis is going to Baffling End the Dusk Legion Zealot. Why not?
Yeah, he sees everything lined up. He's going to keep making his land drops. He's going to cast that Approach of the Second Sun.
I like that he didn't do that on turn 2, and I like that he did do it on turn 5.
Yep. Strong agree.
Chef at Dunes is land 4 for Andrew Maine. Here is Call to the Feast. 3 more creatures. That's a lot of damage. That's 6 power for 4. 9 when he plays the Legion Lieutenant. Arch of Orazka, the draw for Travis Lauro.
And with that land drop, just 1 away from casting Approach.
Yeah, I like this a lot. He just has to tap the Compass if what he wants is a land. He would like to leave up Settle the Wreckage. That Walking Ballista in his hand has gotten pretty bad because of Radiant Destiny.
Right. You can't activate Compass and Settle this turn.
Yeah. There was an argument for just making Ballista on 3 and saying go. It's actually pretty good against Andrew's board. Can block a 2/2. If Andrew plays a Lord, you shoot it down. I think I'm more down with what Travis is doing here, though.
Yeah, and the thing is, he knows his 7th land is rolled up now. So he got that activation out of the way. He won't be able to settle this turn or next turn, but he will for sure be able to approach next turn.
Are you worried if he approaches? That means he has to take Settle Down again. He's going to start.
It depends what Maine does here. Depends what Maine does here.
Okay. Does Maine have another Doomfall? I think Maine has a Doomfall.
That's very bad for Travis.
Yeah, he'll just take the approach. Play Legion Lieutenant, play Doomfall is a great line for Andrew Maine. And it looks like he's going to lead on that discard spell.
Yeah, you want to make sure that a Fumigate hasn't shown up.
Right, here is Doomfall. He'll get to exile a card. And Ryan, I have to assume it's Approach of the Second Sun.
Yes, pretty easy pick here.
I guess you could take Settle the Wreckage if you really wanted. I don't.
No, you can play around that fairly easily. The creatures have gotten large because of the Radiant Destiny.
Andrew's thinking about it.
You want to do the math, you know. You want to make sure, if you can just beat the approach, the issue is that Travis is redrawing to Fumigate, and then if you left the approach, you'll feel real silly.
Yeah, and there's also a chance that he plays Approach and then it actually just draws a different copy of it. And okay, low probability, but you'd hate to just get cheesed out by that.
Yes. With the Lord here, you have lethal in 2 turns for Maine. The concern, though,
Do you have
is a
lethal
top deck.
through the +7 of Approach?
Ah, you do not.
He'll take Settle the Wreckage, though. We'll see if he's going to try to race it.
Legacy players, that is time in the
He might be able to. It's got a lot of damage. Here's Legion Lieutenant. 9 damage will put Travis down to 8.
You are forcing Travis to draw another Settle or Fumigate or what have you.
Right.
Though if it shows up,
You'll feel bad.
think it gets you.
Compass transforms on... Draw basic planes for Travis. So Andrew dodges. Here's Arch of Orazca. Only 9 permanents. If he gains 7, he'll go to 15. Currently, Andrew's board is only 12, but let's back up for a second. Is there a Sheffet Dunes in play, Ryan?
Yeah, just if there's another Anthem effect, that's it. Everything's rolled up. And
Yeah,
there
Sheffet
seems
Dunes
to be.
plus the mana for it is in play. So actually, good call on Andrew's side. You can't cast Approach here.
Yeah.
You can't do anything.
So let's
Right?
see.
Ballista
I guess-
on 3 is the
yeah,
play.
It's 4 creatures. You'll have the Maze of Ith.
Well, not on the same turn. You have to tap the Sheffet Dunes. Oh no, he's dead to 1. So he does that. He transforms the Compass into its land, so that'll hold off 1 attacker. Maybe that makes him survive this. Does that makes him survive the Sheffet Dunes?
I think it made him survive the dunes if he approached.
So what you want to do is you want to see him approach, transform,
Maze one of the attackers, and then it's just 12 coming through.
and then
you're
hope
at
you just like
15,
top deck another
and
approach.
just heal either approach or Fumigate.
Champion of Dusk. Okay, Andrew's going to draw a million cards. If Travis's next draw here is another approach, then he'll let this go.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards from Andrew.
I'll feel pretty similarly if it's a Fumigate.
No. If it's a Fumigate, the problem is Andrew would still have drawn all these cards, right?
Sure.
And Travis like go to 2, he'd Fumigate, and we'd see.
Well, you get more redraws,
Oh,
you get
yeah.
more life.
Absolutely. Here's a swing. Walking Ballista. Gonna jump in front of a lifelink token. Gonna maze back one of the other attackers and shoot down the Legion Loyalist and Lieutenant and just take 2. Goes to 8. Needs a sweeper.
Needs it now.
Yeah, top card. No time for Arch of Orazca. Travis is down to his draw. What does he hit? Scavenger Ground. I don't think any
not a
of these
sweeper.
lines mattered. I think they were all losing.
Yeah, it's looking like that now.
Perhaps a different out was available, but that is not going to make the difference. The Transform on Thematic Compass, very good against a lot of attack decks, not against a tokens-based strategy. That's just
Right.
not a thing. Travis goes up to 13 here. Fine showing on his part. We have 6 damage from the Vampires, a little more from the Champion. That Sheffet Dunes, well, is it lethal?
It's not.
It's close,
It's not lethal yet because the
another
Lord's
try?
gone.
he's got another, so he has one more draw just to hit approach. He goes up to 13. Duress from Andrew Maine. I have Scavenger Grounds.
Cool.
Team open competitors, that is time in round 14. Active player complete your turn. There are 5
So
additional turns.
right now there's
Team open competitors, that is is time.
Yeah, the Chevy should be lethal. So Shaman Dusk is a 4/4. We have 7. They're all
Yeah.
pumped once. That's
Well,
11.
That one's going to get mazed.
Okay, okay.
And the tokens punch through.
Tokens are going to punch right now for 6, and they could if you sacrifice punch for 9. It's not enough.
Right. So may as well just be 6.
Okay. So Travis may be on the out of Fumigate or Approach. Fumigate
Looking
buys
like
him a redraw.
Right.
I bet Settle the Wreckage is no good because Andrew can hang on to a duress, and he'll.
There's just one settle in the
Bloodfest.
75.
It's not even there.
Yeah.
All right, so the tokens get through. They deal 6. Travis down to 7. Andrew up to 26. He has a Bloodfast in play again. He's going to start drawing tons of cards. Travis needs to just draw Fumigate or Approach. Let's
Get
do
that
it.
approach.
This is the turn.
You play 3 of them.
One of them you're definitely not going to draw.
Nope.
Does he hit it? He
Slam
hasn't
it.
even looked yet.
Slam it.
I would do it face up. I just want the world to be part of my top deck. And he did. It's another scavenger ground. There is the handshake. Andrew Maine, 2-1, wins the match. And actually, with 6:20 remaining, that's the first match result.
Geez, still 2 matches out. That's wild.
What is happening in Storm versus Ad Nauseum?
Angel's Grace?
How? We're gonna go to this modern match. I don't understand how this. How do these two modern decks? How are they still in game 2?
The combo
What
is
happened?
Weird. Grape Shot versus Angel's Grace is pretty strange.
Okay, I mean, I play these decks. You're right, they're strange interactions, but like, the game should be done. Okay, anyway, Mitchell Sachs is here. We're going over to this. He's up a game, so if he wins, his team wins. Easy enough. He's got a handful of things that he is showing his opponent, including a Grape Shot and waving in the air. Okay. Phyrexian Unlife is not good against Grape Shot.
Correct. You need to Grape Shot for a little bit more.
Yeah, that's about it. It looks like Chuck is resolving it ad nauseum. Okay, that's probably good.
He has Unlife out.
Yeah. And they're signing a match slip. So we're going to say that.
Sounds like we got a result from Legacy.
Like someone else just won a match.
Yeah.
We're checking with our table judge. Yeah, Mitchell won. Storm happened. Yes, he got him. He got him.
All right.
That was unclear. It is now clear. So James Baker, Mitchell Sachs, and Andrew Maine, they entered the round at 10-2-1. In 4th place, they win here, 11-2-1. That may have just locked them for top 8.
Yes. Either way, they're in great position.